So now we'll discuss the case of cost. Cost function. So cost is what? Cost is mainly the expenditures on production. So there are different types of cost. For example, the case of explicit cost and implicit cost. So what is explicit cost? Explicit cost means the part of cost that you can easily enter into a ledger book, that is visible to us. For example, if we consider the case of hiring the workers. So hiring the worker means you have to pay the wage which can easily be accounted. So this is the case of explicit cost. Whenever you are purchasing raw materials for production, so this is the example of, this is the part of explicit cost. Whenever you are purchasing machineries, whenever you are paying the electricity bill, so these all are the parts of explicit cost. Implicit cost means normally what we see, the implicit cost means the cost cannot be estimated easily, or for example for this there is no proper market. So for example, the cost of the risk that the producer bears. So there is no proper market to find the value of that cost, value of risk. Similarly, if we consider the time of the producer that he devotes here, so these are the parts of the implicit cost. Now from here another difference is that the case of accounting cost and economic cost. So accounting cost simply indicates those components of costs which are shown in the, which are represented through the ledger book of a country. So mainly the explicit cost, they consist of the accounting cost. And what is economic cost? So whenever we will add accounting cost and implicit cost, we will get the concept of economic cost. And now the most important classification comes about the fixed cost and variable cost. So if we want to discuss about fixed cost and variable cost, first we need to know the difference between short run and the long run. So short run means the time period in which at least one factor will remain fixed. So in the short run there is the existence of fixed factors. For example, just after starting a company, starting production, a company will not think of expanding its plant size. So that's why plant size is a short run concept. That is the fixed factor here. And long run means what? Long run means there will be no existence of fixed factor. So all the factors will be variable. Even the plant size, even the land. So that is the difference between short run and long run. Short run means a time period in which some factors cannot be changed. And long run means a time period at which all the factors are variable. So from here, we will start with the short run cost function. And in the short run cost function, there are two components of the cost. That is, if we consider the short run, the cost function will be represented as C equals to C bar plus C into Y. So here small y indicates the level of output, and this Cy property is that if C equals to 0, this Cy equals to 0. So this is the variable concept of variable cost, which is determined by the level of output. And if output level is 0, variable cost will be 0. And if y rises, that means Cy will also increase. So that means along with increase in production, the variable cost of the farm will increase. Now let us come to this part. So if we find that y equals to 0, then cy will be 0 and c will be equals to c bar. So this c bar is known as fixed cost of production. So from the equation it is very clear that the fixed cost of production is independent of the level of output. Whatever may be the level of output, that does not change the fixed cost of production. So we can give an example that of such kind of cost. For example, if we consider one entrepreneur is willing to establish a new factory. So for that new factory, he has to purchase land. And he has to purchase this land before starting the production. Whatever is the level of production, the cost of land will be constant. Next thing, he has to construct a factory. So purchase the heavy machineries. So before starting production, he has to bear all these costs. So these are the components of fixed cost. Now what is variable cost? So variable cost means the component of cost which changes with the level of output. And the best example is labor. If you want to increase more, you have to appoint more labor. If you want to increase output, you have to appoint more labor. So labor is a component of variable cost that depends upon the level of output. Similarly, along with labor, we can consider of the case of raw materials. If we need to produce more, we will require more raw materials. So the cost of raw material will also be a part of the variable cost. Similarly, the transportation charge, the fuel, electricity, all are the parts of the variable cost of production. You produce more, these costs will increase. So now we will come to the short-run graphical explanation of the short-run cost function. In this diagram, we measure output at the horizontal axis and the cost on the vertical axis. So OC bar is the fixed cost of production, because whatever is the level of output, it will remain same. And the standard, as per the traditional cost theory, the variable cost of production will be represented by this curve. The standard cost theory says that total variable cost initially increases at a diminishing rate up to the point of inflection, and after that it will increase at an increasing rate. So what we see here? We see here that fixed cost curve. We see here that fixed cost curve or TFC curve is parallel to the horizontal axis, and this is the TVC. So total variable cost curve will be derived by the lateral summation of these two curves. So this is my total cost curve. So remember that at any level, the vertical distance between these two curves must be equal to the vertical distance of TFC curve from the horizontal axis, because we know that TC equals to TVC plus TFC. So if we do it, TC minus TVC equals to TFC. So at any level of output, the difference between total cost and total variable cost will be exactly equal to the total fixed cost. Now question is, from where do we find this type of cost function, variable cost curve? So This variable cost curve is derived from the law of variable proportion. So for the sake of simplicity, first we will consider that labor is the only variable factor of production. If labor is the only variable factor of production, that means your labor cost will be considered as the only component of the variable cost. So we can write here TVC equals to W multiplied by L. So whenever we study the cost function, we normally consider that the factor prices are constant. So here also wage equals to constant. So now if we show the law of variable proportion, in horizontal axis we are measuring the labor employed, in vertical axis we are measuring the volume of output. So if for the sake of simplicity we consider that W equals to 1, that means wage rate is $1. So total variable cost will be exactly equal to the volume of labor employed. So now if we consider the law of variable proportion, what do we know? The total product initially increases at an increasing rate, and that is up to the point of inflection, and after that it will start to increase at a diminishing rate. So initially what do we see? Along with the rate of increase in output is more than the rate of increase in labor. Now, this law of variable proportion, this total product curve, represents the response of output towards the change in labor. That means if we say that OL1 units of labor employed, that will yield OY1 units of output. Similarly, if we say that OL2 units of labor are employed, so OY2 units of output are produced. Inversely, we can represent labor as a function of output. So if we give inverse statement, we can say that if we want to produce OY1 units of output, we have to appoint OL1 units of labor. Similarly, if we want to increase the output to OY2, I have to increase the labor employment from OL1 to OL2. So this is the inverse statement or the reverse statement. So what we see, initially if we increase the output will grow at a faster rate than labor. And here we have already considered TVC equals to L. So this L equals to TVC. So if we think in another way, initially if we increase the output, we have to increase the cost at a diminishing rate. How long it will continue? It will continue it will continue up to the point of inflection. So initially with output we can say that total variable cost increases at a diminishing rate up to the point of inflection, and after that it will increase at an increasing rate. So that's why the total variable cost curve is known as the mirror image of the law of variable proportion. So this is the shape of total variable cost curve, which is derived from the law of variable proportion. So if we just reverse it, we will get Y and Z. Initially output level, cost increases at a diminishing rate up to the point of inflection, and after that it will increase at an increasing rate. Now in the second term, now we have to consider the case of the average variable cost and average fixed cost. So if we consider that So first we know that TC equals to TVC plus TFC. The total cost equals to total variable cost plus total fixed cost. So if we divide it by the level of output, we will get, so left hand side indicates the average cost of production. Total variable cost divided by the level of output indicates average variable cost of production, and this will indicate average fixed cost of production. Now, first let us discuss about the relationship between Y and AFC. So, how does the average fixed cost change along with the change in the level of output? First, we want to see it. So, I am giving just one example, that let us consider. Suppose that TFC equals to 120. So what do you see? If the relationship between Y and AFC, if Y equals to 1, TFC will be 120. So if Y equals to 2, TFC will be 60. If it is 3, it will be 40. AFC will be 40. 4, 30. 5, 24. So what we see here, that as the total fixed cost is constant, as we increase the level of output, the average fixed cost will decline. So AFC along with the level of output, average fixed cost will gradually decline, fall. The value of AFC will fall. But we have to remember that it is a ratio of total fixed cost and the level of output. And as total fixed cost is constant, the ratio of total fixed cost and level of output, that will never become zero. That will definitely converge towards the horizontal axis, but that will never intersect the horizontal axis. So this will take the shape of a rectangular hyperbola. So average total cost, average fixed cost, as we increase the level of production, average fixed cost will decline, but it will never intersect the horizontal axis. It will converge towards the horizontal axis. And next is the concept of average variable cost. So if we consider the average variable cost curve, it can also be derived with the help of the law of variable proportion by using the average productivity of labor curve. So just now we considered that total variable cost equals to wage rate multiplied by average productivity of labor. Sorry, wage rate multiplied by labor employed. So definitely average variable cost will be TVC by the level of output. So finally what we can write, W into L divided by Y, or W divided by Y by L. So this Y indicates the total production and L indicates total number of labor employed. So Y by L is nothing but the average productivity of labor. And now we can observe the relationship between average productivity of the behavior of the average productivity of labor. So initially what we see, average productivity of labor increases. So whenever average productivity of labor increases, so definitely if APL is increasing, that definitely W by APL will start to decline. So what we can say in this part, whenever average productivity of labor is increasing, we will find that average cost is diminishing. Next, when APL it takes its maximum value, then definitely given the value of W by APL, that will reach its minimum value. That implies average variable cost at its minimum level. So, whenever average productivity of labor is maximum, average variable cost is minimum. And after that, what we see that APL falls. So APL start to decline. So if APL falls, that means W by APL that will increase. So we can write here average variable cost will increase. So this is the shape of average variable cost curve. So average variable cost curve will be U-shaped, and the behavior of average variable curve is nothing but the reflection of the behavior of average productivity of labor as per the law of variable proportion. So in next part we will discuss how we can draw the average cost curve by the lateral summation of average variable cost curve and average fixed cost curve.